Thanks for tuning in, everybody. This is your host, Chris Iacono, and you're listening to Season 5, Episode 3 of Atomic Rumpus. And don't forget, we have premium, exclusive, not available anywhere else episodes on our Patreon page. Visit us online at patreon.com/Atomic Rumpus. To the show! Hey there, everybody, and welcome back to the show. It's yours truly, and you're listening to Atomic Rumpus. Thank you for being here. It's a beautiful, freezing subarctic day here in Colorado. I think it's about 7 degrees out. I can't find my coffee. I swear, I must leave my cup of coffee in every other room but the room I need it in. I'm like, oh, you know, it'd be good right now, a cup of coffee. Let me go make a cup of coffee. I go make a cup of coffee, and I forget it. And I come back down, I do my work. Oh, where's my coffee? Who knows? It's in one of these 3 rooms you just walked through. I found the coffee in the windowsill. I find the coffee under the sink. I find the coffee in the bathroom. You know where I never find it? In my friggin' hands when I need it. But thanks to radio magic, I was able to go get my coffee and come back, and you weren't the wiser. So we've got an awesome show lined up for you guys. And don't forget to, check out our new website. That's at atomicrumpus.com. All of the links to our social media there, but you can pretty much just look up Atomic Rumpus. We've got Atomic Rumpus all over the place. And we're on YouTube. Don't forget the shows are going to be released on YouTube now. We don't have video yet, but we've got audio converted to video with pictures. That's close. So if you're one of those people like me that likes to listen to shows while you're on the desk computer, otherwise known as the desktop, aka the big mamma jamma, aka the workstation, aka Maximum RAM the Third, aka Maximum Gigabyte Junior. I give my computer stupid names. But yeah, if you're like one of those people that actually works on a computer, like in front of an actual computer, instead of just being on the phone and listening to shows, then you could check us out on YouTube. Just, you gotta go through our website because we don't have a URL yet. And yeah, subscribe. Hit that subscribe button on everything. I know it may sound redundant because you're listening to the show and you're like, what do you mean subscribe? I'm already subscribed. I'm listening to the show. Believe it or not, a lot of people have found this show in other areas. You may have found it on YouTube. You may have found it on iHeartRadio. You may have found it on Spotify. We're on all these different places, and it all comes from the same podcast feed. So yeah, make sure you're subscribed where you are, and then if you want to just get the show directly, just make sure you subscribe to the podcast feed. Just search for Atomic Rumpus in any podcast player and or aggregator, and we'll come up. And now, without further ado, everything you need to know in the news. Attorney General Jeff Sessions is still an asshole. The 435-year-old drug warrior dinosaur was heard making another round of ignorant, stupid statements at a bunch of his events this last few weeks. At a recent 25-minute speech that he gave at the attorney's office in Tampa, Florida, Jeff Sessions said, "I am operating under the assumption that this country prescribes too many opioids. People need to take some aspirin and tough it out a little." End quote. A day earlier, at a Heritage Foundation event, he made a similar statement, touting the effects of aspirin, and pointed at cannabis as a path towards opiate addiction, showing how truly ignorant the elderly can be, especially when you give them federal power and an army. Yeah, don't forget, the Justice Department has an army. They've got thousands and thousands and thousands of people, heavily armed, who will do their bidding. And these are the people they take orders from. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm sure they need warrants to do the hood and cloak 3 a.m. raids that they love to do, those are easy enough to get. A judge, a guy, you got a warrant. Boom, done. 3 minutes. Now, we don't disagree with the guy's statement that America has an opioid problem. It is absolutely a problem. But I will go toe-to-toe with you if you want to make the ignorant statement that you think cannabis has anything to do with it. Especially, and again, I'm not a doctor. Anything I say is not medical advice. But many people are using cannabis for pain relief. It's so obvious. I mean, I can't... How many years have we been saying that? Like 40 years. Not even 4. Like 4,000. Ancient Chinese people used the cannabis on the Silk Road. It was the only reason they walked from point A to point B. You think there'd be a Silk Road? You think we'd have any trade routes whatsoever if the cannabis wasn't at the end of one of them? No. You can probably track all of modern civilization back to cannabis. This guy wants to make a bold, ignorant, incorrect statement that cannabis has anything to do with opioid addiction, and it does not. So here's what else he said. Quote, "The DEA said that a huge percentage of heroin addiction starts with prescriptions. That may be an exaggerated number. They had it as high as 80%. We think this is starting with marijuana and other drugs. We think a lot of this is starting with marijuana and other drugs." Oh, is that what you think? Well, do me a favor. Okay, climb down off that dinosaur for a second. Put down the root beer float you got at some Norman Rockwell painting and sit down and listen to some friggin' reason for a second, okay? Point blank, all of his statements completely contradict all major scientific research. Look, science is wrong plenty of the times, but when you've got millions of people and you can track years and years and years and years of usage, you can make pretty good assumptions about the way cannabis works. And again, let's do something about this problem. Opioids are killing 175 people a day in the U.S. Now, I pulled that number out of an article, so it might be wrong. But you know what I mean? I'll admit, hey, I may have misinformation, but I'm sure it's a pretty high number. And a recent federally funded study by the Rand Corporation found that states that have legal cannabis have lower opioid deaths. But this is the type of ignorance that you get when you appoint an ancient Sumerian warlord to the Attorney General's office. I swear to Christ, that's how old this guy is. What is he? He's like 4,000 or 5,000 years old. I mean, he was probably around for the wheel. When there was only one of them. When you made one wheel and you're like, what are we going to do with this? I don't know. We got make another one. Let's see what happens. Jeff Sessions was there for that. And they gave this guy an army. Oh my God. Look, I've seen some ignorant stuff in my day. This guy really does take the cake. And don't think that it was great, 3 or 4 years ago. I got to be very clear about this. The last Attorney General appointed under the Obama administration, Eric Holder, didn't say as much ignorant stuff, but he went on to launch one of the largest federal attacks on medical marijuana in U.S. history. Seems like everybody in that position, doesn't matter who appoints them, whether it be from this side of the political spectrum or this side, seems like everybody that gets it to be Attorney General, they get a little Napoleon. And they lose like 40 intelligence points. Like if they were playing D&D, the Dungeon Master would be like, yeah, roll at 20. You'd lose all your intelligence. You'd be a babbling idiot. Nobody would want to play with you anymore. And that's what I think is happening. That's it. That's all I got. I got a series of sounds for this guy. I swear, if I could projectile vomit from like 40 feet away, I would do that. I would do that at all of them. Like the scene from Jurassic Park when Newman from Seinfeld was in that scene from Jurassic Park and he's running down the hill and that dinosaur is like, hey, what's up, bro? And he's like, oh, cute little dinosaur. Hey, boom. Blind. Can't make any more stupid laws. It's only fitting that somebody who rides a dinosaur should have to go toe-to-toe with one. Hey, we're back.
Yes, we are.
It's been a long time, and we wanted to say thank you for being back. I'm here in the studio. Brando's here. Nadine is here.
I'm here in the studio.
Hello, guys.
We are happy to be here. So, how do you guys feel about being back?
I'm happy. I'm fulfilled. I feel as if like this giant hole in my life is Still a hole, but shallower one now.
Well, that's what we're here for, to
Yeah.
fill the voids in your heart.
To shallow my hole. Oh, no, that doesn't sound right.
Oh, that was dirty.
That was one of those sentences, like, as I'm saying it, my brain's kind of like, let's stop that midway, and then
Yeah.
it's like an
That's
abort
about
situation.
30% of the things that come out of my mouth.
Those
Yeah.
words left a bad taste in my mouth.
That also is, my shallow hole left a bad taste.
Oh,
I don't think you can say that on the air.
So we're back, and we've got our new name. Thank you so much.
Yes!
So, yeah.
yay.
What is the new name?
Atomic Rumpus,
For
everybody.
those of us that have been absent.
Absent, yeah. So you're probably at this point, and this is future proofing. You're probably at this point seeing the new name in the iTunes store.
Yep, and
the
probably
new
thinking,
logo.
what the heck
Yeah.
is that? That's
Yeah.
the weirdest thing.
So when this comes out, there might be like a day or two until everything updates. We wanted to wait until there were 4 or so episodes of the season 5 out before you actually saw the new stuff. That way, some people don't download the show till a month later.
we
So
could just like slip it in there. you know?
Exactly, and that's
You know,
gonna happen.
Maybe you smoke too much one night and wake up and forget, that the old thing ever existed, and that we've always been atomic.
always
Rumpus.
been Atomic Rumpus.
Big Brother has always been at war with Eurasia. That's not how that goes.
But it's one of those things. It could be like we'll frame it in a forever way.
Yeah,
That could be.
Yeah, I mean, you can honestly. There's no proof that anything exists except the right now. Anyway, so
Yep.
we have always been
Now,
Atomic Rumpus.
Of course, there are our diehard core fans, and by that I mean like pretty much all of you who know the show.
Except for like the one guy,
If you can hear us right now.
which we love you guys. You're our saving grace.
This should be referred to as, this is like BC and AC. We have got before AR, before Atomic Rumpus,
So that's BA though.
BA, before Atomic Rumpus,
BAR,
AAA,
that's bar.
AAAA,
Bar
after
and-
AAR,
Bar and R.
Bar and R,
Yeah, bar and R.
before Atomic Rumpus. We've got bar and we've got R.
That's what I was saying.
Bar and R.
That's what I was just saying.
Oh, I think you said bar and R. I thought that was like, what's a bar and R?
No, I was saying bar and R. Taking what I said and came up with it like it's your own idea.
Give me a pause. Give me a bar. Give me a pause. Give me an
I don't
R.
got time enough to pause, man. Life moves too fast. Bar and R.
So we've got bar and R for the show, before Atomic Rumpus, after Atomic Rumpus. And these are going to be 2 distinct groups of friends, I guess, because you guys, you are old school. You're like, you knew the band before they were big.
Yes, you're the hipsters.
You're like, I remember them when they were blah, blah, blah. And
When we was called the Jeff Beebe Band.
been following them since TWS. And some of you have. If you go back and you listen to the earlier episodes, which we'll talk about what's going to happen to them. If you go back and you listen to them, you'll hear the progression. It was originally me and
Different.
another guy in a different basement.
Different.
The asbestos room, as I like to
It
call
was,
it. Yeah.
it was very different than it is this moment.
Yeah, way different music, way different feel. There was a lot of whiny arguing with this other person
There
on the
was.
show, and it got weird for a little bit.
There was
but
a lot of indeeds.
yes, and theoretically.
Actuallys.
So there was a lot of that going on the original shows, and the show morphed, the show changed. Also, I didn't like recording in a rundown asbestos basement.
Right.
I mean, look, I didn't know this was asbestos in the basement. I'm assuming, since the house hadn't been updated in 40 years, that I was slowly dying every episode I
Well,
released.
you did just come off the Iron Lung. I
Yes.
mean, that's something that most of you didn't know. We used to have to record in enclosed an antiseptic room.
Underwater. actually.
Underwater,
They put me in one of
yep.
those tubes like Journey to the Center of the Earth, and they
Yes.
go down through the
Sea Lab,
water. Or,
Sea Lab Atomic Rumpus.
what am I thinking here? 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, like a Jacques Guido floating down to the bottom like a big iron meatball, okay, that just sinks.
It's
That's how we
true.
used to record the show, because...
That's where he came to be known as the Iron Meatball.
Yep.
So change is good, it sounds
Change is
like.
good, yes.
Evolved.
Yeah,
I'd
and
say
then we had...
evolved.
But no, let's talk about the eras. Then we had the era of me angrily doing the show by myself in downtown Denver, okay? There was just me, and I was like, "Arr, arr, 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 arr." And there was nobody to like be like, hey, dude, it's not that bad.
Hey,
So-
come. Yeah, it was like end of career George Carlin.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
where it's just and there's a place for that. The 3 people that were following at that point were also angry, like, yeah, I hate everything.
But that's also where we released one of the first sketches, which was the cop sketch number 1.
And that was pretty good.
that was really good.
If
That was
you
cop
guys
sketch number
have
1.
not heard it, please do
You gotta
yourselves
go
a favor.
visit the archives, which are online, and go find those.
Browse through the library.
The libraries. They're available on the website.
What do they call those ancient libraries that are in crypts? Like, isn't there there's a video game name for that?
Yeah.
What the hell are they?
Archives, crypts. You just said it.
Oh yeah, I did.
Archives and crypts.
Right.
So while we've been gone, we've really been going through the old shows, and it's really made me realize how much freaking work you've put into it, Chris.
Yeah, thank you. Well, a little humble brag. I put a lot of work into it.
A lot.
And it's morphed a lot, and that's what I
has.
love about this moment, is that it's another morph.
It's been like resurrected.
Yes.
There's like been ports where it was, it was on kind of a hiatus, an air show hiatus, and then
there was 5 months of nothing.
It's been had life breathed into it through
Again.
mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, a little bit of tongue slipped in,
been pretty steady.
surreptitiously, if that's not the word.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it has. You've put in a ton of work.
This show has gone, I just think about the places it's been. It's been to, I think, 6 different locations, 6 different apartments. We've recorded
like a
out of.
Facebook timeline.
Kind of, yeah.
We have the Atomic Rumpus timeline.
And each one has gotten a little bit better, which I like. Is a very good. And then we had 4 hosts for a bit, and then now we have 3 hosts.
We actually had 3 hosts, then we had 4 hosts.
Then we had 4 hosts.
Then we have 3 hosts.
Yep.
They were different hosts.
And we changed the name. So, for those of you that knew the old name, you knew the old name. And now we moved on to a new name, and we're a new show.
I changed
same stuff.
I changed to a different brand of underwear. I feel more comfortable now. I went from a boxer brief stage to more of a boxer stage. So I feel like I can be more free with both my words and my Netherlands. So there you go.
Radio Commando.
It's right. That's right.
your
There's no
personal
other
revolution.
way, really. I mean, let's
Gotta
be
feel
honest.
loose.
Yeah, you can't feel constricted in your life.
I'm happy where we're at, because I feel like being back and having the new name, having Atomic Rumpus, allows us to release so much more comedy content that honestly would have been kind of weird it being on like a pure,
well, not just
cannabis
weird.
channel.
It just wouldn't have been possible. I mean, there's things like that we're planning on doing. We've got a lot of exciting things coming up that we couldn't have done otherwise. So this opens up, not just for us, and we're still going to be what we were. We're never going to change our core, our values, our quirks and personality. That's who we are.
Our principals.
We've
Got the principals on this show.
Our idioms.
See, different name. I still bitch and moan about the government during the news. You know what I mean? I still do. I still complain.
He does in general. He still likes to style his hair with marinara sauce. That's just something that's part of him.
Hasn't changed.
No.
So basically what we're saying is thank you for being with us, and for understanding that we had to take a little break for the in-between seasons. We always got to take a little break.
Grazies. Grazie.
Grazie. And remember, the archives are going to be up for a little while longer. I think another couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. So hop on the feed, however you subscribe to the feed, and download all those old shows now, because we're going to be archiving them.
Yes, we are.
Putting them in the vault, crypto vaults, in the crypt vaults. In the Crypt Keeper Vault. Yeah, it's going to be like that. It's like that scene from remember the first Indiana Jones when they get the Ark, and the last scene where they bring it into the government warehouse?
Oh, yeah. Top men.
Top secret, yeah.
And then it's the guy who puts the box in this warehouse with all the other boxes.
And they back up, and you realize, oh my God, how many things do they have?
So many boxes.
Yep. That's what the archive is like.
We have a lot of boxes.
Yep.
So. You can explore those boxes, maybe.
Yeah, you're going to be able to get to them.
We'll show you how.
When we archive them. Yeah, no, if you're listening now, the archive will be available online on the website.
Yep.
It'll be there, and go to the website, click archive, and it'll point you to the Patreon, which is where you can access the archive.
First, you'll encounter a wizard who will give you a riddle.
What?
That riddle will then take you to a giant rock, which you'll have to push for 15 seconds in one direction.
I'm going to have to program that now. Damn it.
Yes. I created more work. I love when that happens.
You find me the picture of the wizard, and I will work it into the website.
Done.
Yes. All right.
Wizard. Happened.
Yeah. So, no, we're actually going to have a few different ways to do it. You can get access to the archives by being a member of us on Patreon, and you'll be able to just buy the archives individually, season by season, on the website as an instant digital download. So you can do it a bunch of different ways.
Without any of that, DCM crap.
No DCM.
We don't do that shit.
We don't do any of that shit here. Like season 5.
That's 5 seasons. We're an entire handful. We're a hand.
Turkey hand.
So thank you all for sticking with us. Those who did from the start, those who just joined, thank you for joining. Whatever you're doing right now, thanks for doing it. We really do appreciate all of you.
Yep, we do. Hurry up and get them episodes before we Indiana Jones them.
And when you open them up, your face melts into a skull and your eyeballs pop.
Don't look. Don't look. Whatever you do, don't look.
You have chosen poorly.
We got a brand new segment. Chris and the crew spoil a movie or a game or something else that you like. We're going to ruin it here on the show. So look, full of spoilers. Tune out now if you don't want the new It movie spoiled.
This is the official spoiler alert.
Yes.
And I am super excited about this new segment. I'm excited to bring my very special brand of not remembering any character names, any significant plot points.
So you'll only be spoiling really like minor details and
I can pretty much tell you how it feels.
Sure.
You'll be spoiling more the holistic side of the movie. I get it.
I will pull out the lessons.
The crew feels out a movie.
That's a different kind of movie.
That is a different kind of day.
Speaking as somebody who grew up with the original It book and television series, it was a what, a 2-part miniseries?
Made for TV.
Made for TV.
That's an important part of the distinction of what kind of genre.
Exactly. But it was made for TV in the sense that they ended up getting Tim Curry to play Pennywise.
Who was awesome.
Yes, who's a normal stage and movie actor. And back then, this is what, 87, 88, maybe 90s, early 90s when it came out?
It was like 80s.
That was still taboo to go from film to movie. But I think a lot of people were like, hey, it's going to be a huge event, and it was amazing. So I grew up with that movie. So this one...
different.
That sums it up.
Different movie than the first one.
Yeah.
And I think if you go into it not as little as possible trying to compare it to the original, if you go into it with the mindset that this is an entirely different brand new movie that has nothing to do with the old movie, you'll have a better experience with it.
Yep.
I didn't do that. Most people probably didn't do that.
Well, I disagree with that. I believe that going into it, like standing alone in its own sort of moviedom, and also seeing it in comparison to the original It, bleh.
Right. You're getting two sideways thumbs?
Two sideways crapper down thumbs.
Crapper down thumbs and a bleh.
And a bleh.
Yeah, it was like there's actually a spittle of vomit that came out there. But you're just proving my point. You're saying that because you had the idea of the old movie into it, that's why it kind of falls short, because the old movie was awesome. I mean, it was.
But also, as an individual movie, it doesn't translate. They didn't explain who Pennywise was, what he was doing, what his special magical evilness came from, how it operated. It didn't track.
But they did that because they have a chapter 2 that's going to come out. It's already filming.
That's the problem with the way they did this. So I'm not comparing it to the first movie. I've read the book, okay, a long time ago, and I've seen the movie. Now, I saw the first movie, then I read the book. Then I was like, oh, the first movie was pretty good. It stuck to the book.
At its time.
I
rewatched the first movie. It was fucking awful.
But in that great made-for-TV movie way.
Yes.
At the time, it was amazing.
At the time, it was fine.
Yeah.
It was no Lethal Weapon, okay? It was no Terminator,
Nothing
sure.
Lethal Weapon.
Sure,
Well, and the kiddos out there do not realize that we come from the time when we looked forward to like Wizard of Oz being on TV that year and things like that. Like
I never did that. I would have gotten beaten up if my friends had heard me be
skipping down the streets in New York.
Guys, I've got to go home and watch The Wizard of Oz.
We represent the lollipop.
Fine, I'm a freak. More proof.
That's
more
fair
proof.
enough. It's fair. No, I mean, I used to look forward to Little Shop of Horrors being on.
Okay.
We
Tales
come
from
from
the Crypt.
Tales from the Crypt.
That was amazing.
point blank, look, if you're like under 25, you might be listening to the show. You come from a time when most movies are shit. We come from a time when really 1 out of 3 were amazing.
Mm-hmm. They were original.
They were all original. So I'm movies have actually gotten subpar in quality. But I'm comparing this new It movie to the book, and I give it 1 thumb 3/4 up, 1 thumb 3/4 down. Okay, so I'm not going to go 2 sideways thumbs. All right,
but they still, if you're thinking of it like a math equation, both sides cancel out.
They always do. Yes.
So you're 0,
and I'm going to give it a
neutral.
That's the sound I'm going to give it.
Okay, so you've got one fist in one direction.
Yeah, that's feeler language.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're kind of diagonally.
Yeah.
If you put your fist.
It's like it got me going,
together.
but then it never delivered. It was like one of those.
So
you know that scene from The Office when they're watching the square go across the screen and they're trying to get that's what it's like every time. But that's what it did to me. Yes,
it was like it was all for. Here's my take. It was all foreplay to me. I was waiting. I wanted it to scare the shit out of me. The first one scared the shit. I mean, I was 8 years old, so that was probably part of it. But if I didn't go into it, number 1, comparing it to the original, and number 2, expecting it to be scary, actually frightening or disturbing, I would have really liked it. If I had the viewpoint of a Stranger Things,
sure,
or something like that, where it's just interesting, it's a throwback to the 80s type of movies, I would have enjoyed it. I would have found it entertaining. But because I expected so much more, I was waiting for the payoff to where, when does Pennywise become actually scary? When does he fucking freak me out?
Did the first one freak you out?
Yeah.
Okay.
First one, I was scared. I'm still scared of clowns.
Yeah,
pretty sure.
Okay.
Which is all the more weird that this one didn't really scare me.
It didn't. And that's part of it, is that Pennywise, in the books, and this is why I still think the first one was better, Pennywise was a prankster. He reminds me of the old Freddy Krueger, who actually had he wasn't just a mindless killer, he had some real personality behind him. And in the book, Pennywise terrified the children not only with what he was transforming into, but what he would say to them. There was a lot more talking back and forth and a lot more psychological messing with the kid. Sure, little Georgie in the very first scene, if you haven't seen it, spoiler,
we're spoiling
he got his arms got torn off into the sewer. Sure, Pennywise is talking, but all of the key scenes from the book that were in the first movie where Pennywise is actually speaking and being a prankster fell completely flat in this new movie.
Case in point, the fucking marquee line of the first movie was when Georgie asks if the balloons float. He says, "Do they float?"
Yep.
And Pennywise goes, "Yes, Georgie, they float." It was this, and then all the taglines afterwards, come float with us. Or
they all float down.
They all float down
that's
here.
From the book.
That all made sense because Georgie asked in the first scene, "Do they float?" Mm-hmm. He did not ask, "Do they float?" in the fucking new movie.
No.
So and they still referenced it all the time.
Yeah.
They said, "We all float down here," over and over. But it was it was completely lost because it had no frame of reference if you didn't see the first one. Because Georgie never asked if the balloon floated.
Yeah.
It killed me with that.
And they didn't, it's not as a director, I get it. You want to make your own movie, but you're not, as long as you follow the book, what actually happened and laid it out, you're not going to, it would have worked. Here's the big beef that I have with it. Part 1 of this new It movie is only them as children,
right,
and you lose the entire story. People were saying online, I don't get the It universe. They didn't understand that It,
it's
the clown,
the dark.
It's your biggest fear. It's your greatest fear. It manifests itself as all these things. They were like, why is that? Why is there's a part where Mike is watching a fire go on in the building, and it's really It fucking with him.
Right.
But you wouldn't have known that because they didn't establish that that the clown does that.
And I have another major complaint y'all have not named yet. One of the things that I love about the old Stephen King movies is he always made a cameo. That man is still alive. Why would you not have him pop in your movie?
He is supposed to. He always makes a cameo. You're right.
I'm betting he just didn't like it. He had a few movies. A lot of his books that were translated to movies, he fucking hated. He hated Carrie. He hated Cujo.
Yeah.
He hated. There's a bunch of them though. He doesn't
made
like
cameos
the way
though.
Yeah,
Still
he did.
did.
I think that's probably his agent being like, "No, Stephen King gets a cameo because that's a great residual check that comes in for the next 40 years."
Like
yeah.
he fucking needs it. Come on.
Hey,
That guy could write his next novel on $100 bills.
Would you rather have 10 cameo checks coming in or 0?
Well, because I'm not sitting on a bed of
anybody,
award-winning novels.
Anybody.
But no, I get it. Yeah, he should have. I see that. And the other, so
it's also it's like putting Stan Lee in the Spider-Man
or Quentin
movies.
Tarantino and I
just
get
a missed opportunity.
No, yeah.
And
Quentin
I think there were
Tarantino
lots of missed opportunities.
puts himself in a movie because he's a douchebag,
right?
It's
and
a lot
terrible
different.
actor.
Yes,
and
and
he's
it's
a
awful.
Terrible
Yes.
Every line he has it's like somebody who's just first learning how to act.
Yeah.
And every movie, it's crazy. But anyway,
So the big complaint. Didn't you have a big complaint?
That was the complaint.
That was.
Oh,
Stephen
okay.
King was in it.
My
big complaint, aside from all the other complaints that we've had, is Pennywise himself.
Okay.
Again, comparing him to the first one, I actually liked Pennywise in the second one. I thought the actor did a really good job. I liked he was kind of creepy. I liked the way he talked.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that they made him a scary clown to begin with. His base form was already scary. The whole reason, so Pennywise's main form isn't a clown.
No.
It's like this weird fucking outer space creature.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like
Yes.
a spider, if you really go into the universe, is made out of dark matter. I don't remember.
Yeah. He's a force.
Yeah, exactly. He's like the
energy,
ultimate evil
energy force.
And that's why those little balls of light that the girl sees midway through and she goes in this catatonic state, that's actually looking at Pennywise's like
true
pure
form.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he becomes a clown because children taste the best and clowns attract children.
Yes.
Like he becomes a happy-go-lucky character to try to help kids come near him. So why be a scary fucking clown to begin with? Like, why would you make him into somebody who's already going to freak children out and not lure anybody into,
because
to being friends with
they
him?
changed the time frame. Which again, the in the book, and it's 1950. The kids are children. It's 1950. In 1950, clowns were still acceptable to children. This other one is in 1980. We've already gotten, after Killer Clowns from Outer Space come out.
Gacy?
Yeah, John Wayne Gacy. Clowns are terrifying to everybody in the 80s. Like, there was no reason to change it other than they wanted part 2 to take place in nowadays.
Right, exactly.
So they could have cell phones and whatever it is.
Well, it was also the success of those throwback 80s film. And I don't know the filming, between Stranger Things and it, but Stranger Things was a huge success. It was a throwback. They were trying to, bring back like the Goonies and Stand By Me.
Yes.
And that's what the new It felt like. It felt like Stand By Me, a lot like Stand By Me, without,
without it being good.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
So what's our general consensus? How many thumbs we got?
All right, so my thumbs...
Like 3/4 of a
Can I
thumb?
stick
Is that
my thumb up my butt? No, I don't know. I was entertained.
up your butt thumb? Is that your vote?
That's one thumb.
I mean, well, it depends
Yes.
on what I've eaten previously. Yeah.
I think that counts as no. So you know what? Okay, you got to have. There's a thumb up. There's a thumb to the side. There's a thumb down.
So one
there's
thumb
a
should
thumb
be
up.
quality
There's a
of
thumb
movie.
in your butt. Okay,
Right.
Then to me,
Obviously.
that is technically thumb up, but it's
Depends
like
on where
adding
you're laying.
insult. Yes. So
If I'm laying on my stomach, it's thumb down.
yes, but that should be like a double negative thumb.
It is a double negative thumb.
Like one thumb pointing down and one thumb in your butt should count as 3
'cause it's
thumbs
pointing
down.
up.
That should count
Right.
as 3
It's a
thumbs
double.
down.
we
I
just
get it.
fixed every rating system ever that's out there is that there's no butt thumb.
Ebert did not think of
Totally.
that.
Yep.
There's no double
Sorry,
down.
Ebert, you missed the mark on that. No,
So-
but I was entertained by it as a standalone. If I didn't have expectations and I didn't see the original It and I didn't read the books, it was entertaining, not as a horror movie, but just as an entertaining thing to do for 2 hours. I enjoyed that aspect, but because I had all these preconceived notions and I was comparing to everything else and I expected something different, I was disappointed.
Yeah, I would say go see it if somebody else bought you a ticket.
Or wait until it comes out. That's one I would
Yes.
say wait. Watch it with your friends on Halloween night because you guys can joke and laugh about how it's different. And
Is it coming out like for DVD on Halloween night or something?
I'm talking
No.
about some Halloween.
Oh, later on, like in 2 years?
27 years from now.
And if I would
When it
say
comes back.
if you're old enough, go to a theater like we did where you can have a drink, which helps take the edge off the crap fest.
Yeah.
I mean, it is kind of cool to see like all the memes and everything coming back. Like some guy tied a balloon to like a gutter drain outside of this old lady's house, which is kind
really?
of funny.
Okay.
And, I mean, it's bringing back like those things.
So I'm hearing yes to nostalgia, 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, no to
a 3/4 thumb for it.
There's no 3/4 thumb.
No, there's
an up
there's
thumb,
butt
a side thumb, and a down thumb, a butt thumb, and then there's got to be like a double up thumb, which has got to be like a.
How did I come up with quarters?
Yeah, there's like a Fonzie. There's a Fonzie.
There's a Fonzie.
Yeah,
the Fonzie thumb.
But that's
Two
not,
thumbs in your ears.
Yeah.
Really for really bad dialogue. Hey guys, find us on patreon.com/atomicrumpus to support the show. Every little bit helps us tremendously. You have no idea what it means to us. It helps us bring you more laughs, more jokes, more skits. At Patreon, you'll be able to get some behind the scenes footage, us kind of goofing around. You'll see our process and maybe our anti-process. Go to patreon.com/atomicrumpus.
And now the Q&A section of the show. Questionable answers with the crew here. This is where you can write in to the show.
Yeah, ask us a question.
Ask us a question. Whatever.
I want a question. I want a really creative, interesting.
I want a questionable question.
Questionable questions.
Question.
Yes.
Yeah, a question where we're not sure exactly what the question is.
Yeah, and it could be about us personally. It could be about the show. It could be about you.
Life.
The universe.
The universe. Yeah.
We cannot
Food.
promise answers. I will say that. When you ask your question, I would not be expecting an actual answer.
No. I mean, there's a 33% chance the answer will have something to do with cheese.
Or
It
bacon.
might. It might.
There's also
Or bacon.
Yeah, I wouldn't ask any life advice. Should I quit my job tomorrow?
No, you can ask that advice.
No, definitely ask it, but I wouldn't actually base your decisions on how you're going to proceed with your life on
No,
we say.
do that. Roll those dice.
Atomic Rumpus will not be held responsible for anybody who goes and tells their boss to go screw themselves and walks out of their job.
You know what? No, actually, if you curse out your job, I want you to be like, an Atomic Rumpus told me to do this. Like, shout that out in your office.
For a life tip here, if you're 23 or younger, make sure that you use that time wisely. And by wisely, I mean you have to walk out, quit at least one job.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Don't get past 23 without just being like, fuck this place.
Every
and
job I
walking
had
out.
under 28, I never resigned. I just stopped going. I probably still work at half of
It is the
them.
most satisfying thing, but you get to a certain age where you can't do it anymore.
Correct.
It'll be
So
bad.
get
for
one of
you.
those in there before
16
before
to
that.
23.
Super sad because you're all worried about it the night before. You're like, fuck, I gotta go to work tomorrow. I gotta go to that car wash, and I had to do that. And then you like this thought hits, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah,
I don't have to do that.
We'll absolutely give you questionable life advice.
Yes.
Just ask us. First question, the question comes in from Edmund in Santa Fe.
I like him already.
Edmund in Santa Fe writes in, what did I come into this room for? And he does not specify the room.
So here's my initial thought:
Yes.
is it's a bathroom, and
Really?
that's just where I'm going. I'm feeling that.
Okay.
Like, I feel connection to Edmund. I feel like we're
Mund.
Edmund.
Edmund.
Feel like we're bonded to the point where I almost don't know his name. Like we're life soulmates.
And you're connected to him in the bathroom.
Well, no, I'm connected to his intention of being in the bathroom.
Why?
Because I think that's where he's going. I think that's where he is. I think that's where he is when he thought of this
What is it
question.
about the word Edmund that makes you and Santa Fe that makes you think Edmund's in the bathroom?
Santa Fe is in New Mexico, and New Mexico is renowned for their spicy and Mexican-style foods.
Okay, however, I agree with you. And I see where you're going with this. Had Edmund been having a gastrointestinal episode
Not where I'm going.
that required him to be in the bathroom, I think he would have known why he's in the bathroom.
Correct. That's
He
not-
forgot. You don't forget that you're about to Santa Fe, and you know what I mean?
Nope, not where I'm going with that.
Oh, really?
No, I'm not going there at all. I'm thinking.
Why would I have assumed that that's where you're
I
going?
don't know, because you have bathrooms in your brain, man. That's gross. Come on, liven up here. No, I was saying is that he probably opened up a franchise of Mexican-style restaurants, right? And they did really well. He became very successful.
Edmund is a name that sounds like he's got some dough to throw around.
That's what I'm thinking.
You know
And
what
I
mean?
think so. I think, based on his success, he bought a new house. He upgraded his Santa Fe residence. He's got one of those big, like, Adobe, cool style houses. It's new to him.
There's nothing cool about an Adobe house.
I kinda
Sorry,
like
I do not like Adobe
Okay,
houses.
I'm sorry, Edmund, that Chris hates your house.
I don't
like your house.
Hey, I don't see Edmund in an adobe house.
Well,
I think Edmund is a proper fellow who lives out of a house built of something other than mud.
No way.
Yes,
way.
no.
No way.
It's definitely, he's in Santa Fe. They don't make houses out of
Edmund
anything else.
definitely owns restaurants. He definitely introduced me to my first strawberry juice and champagne when I was in Santa Fe. I'm pretty sure I met this guy.
So I bet you did.
Okay.
And I bet you based on his success, he bought his new house that may or may not, but probably was made of Adobe.
Okay.
And he's wandering, he just got home from his successful, day job managing these restaurants, and he walks into this room because he doesn't know what rooms are where yet. It's brand new. He just got home, flicks on the light, and he's in the bathroom.
Yeah, and I think he's in that bathroom contemplating which contractor to hire to undo the adobe his house is built
Possibly,
out of.
or
And replace
way.
it with shingles.
Or
No.
possibly he's just thinking
Yes.
of renovating and putting like this room in a more easily
and
accessible
by hiring a removal crew like from Session 9 to pull all the adobe off of his house.
the haunted mental patients.
No, I don't see it this way at all. Whether he walked into the bathroom, the living room, or the kitchen, or the bedroom, he obviously walked in for strawberries and champagne.
But who keeps strawberries and champagne in their bathroom?
Edmund!
Why would Edmund keep strawberries and champagne? Is he
Because
making it in the toilet?
because he's
Is that
fancy.
the champagne you tried? You
Because
tried
he's
Pruno?
fancy.
You tried toilet champagne?
I would never try toilet champagne.
You might have and
dirty,
not known it.
Dirty man.
Maybe Edmund tricked you into drinking his toilet champagne. Maybe that's where the strawberries came from.
Well,
You leave your fantasy about Edmund in the bathroom to yourself. Do not
Yes.
pull me into whatever's
So,
happening in your dirty kinky
you're the one that
bathroom
said Edmund's
fantasy.
making his champagne and strawberries in the bathroom.
yes, I think we figured it out, Edmund. The reason you're in the bathroom right now is to sit and drink strawberries and champagne and contemplate how
From your toilet.
how to correct the adobe that has infested your home like a parasite.
See, I think he's going to improve the Adobe. I think he's going to build a second
by removing
Adobe
it, by
house.
tearing it down.
No, and I need to apologize, Edmund, for Brando and his disgusting toilet references.
The Atomic Rumpus.
You brought up the toilet reference.
Atomic Rumpus does not sanction this apology or any apologies here
Not
on
at
out.
all.
This is a sole Nadine apology.
Completely.
And does not represent the views or apologies of Atomic Rumpus. Atomic Rumpus will never apologize
Never.
for anything.
Ever.
Ever.
And I will own my apology 100%.
Especially-
and not want Atomic Rumpus to own any part of my sincere apologies to Edmund, because Edmund is fancy and he and I are on the same wavelength here.
It's not that sincere because you're apologizing for something I did, trying to deflect from the fact that you're the one that brought up the toilet reference. Yes.
You said the bathroom.
No,
Definitely
you said
was
you went into
not
the bathroom.
me.
You said, we'll rewind the tape. You said he walked into the bathroom because that's where his strawberries and champagne were.
I don't know what to say to that. You're
Exactly.
obviously wrong.
I'm obviously right. Everybody, Edmund right now is listening and going, damn, Brando
Yeah, he's
knows
still
what he's
listening.
talking about.
What's the apology for?
Yeah. There's no apology.
Oh, did you just want to say what? For
Take
what?
it back. Take
I
it back.
think because Brandon's disgusting.
Disgustingly accurate is what she means. That the accuracy of my predictions is so right on, it's just disgusts everybody else. I get that. I get that a lot.
Have a great day, Edmund. Please remember, Atomic Rumpus is listener supported. If you value the content that you hear and can find it in your heart to throw us a couple of bucks, please visit us at patreon.com/Atomic Rumpus. You'll also get access to premium episodes not heard anywhere else. Thanks for listening. Happy smoking.